No, Rahul will not be playing as a wicketkeeper in this series. I think we were quite clear about that from the selection itself. We had picked two other wicketkeepers, so obviously Rahul did a fantastic job for us in South Africa and really played a big part in us helping draw that series. But you know, considering it's 5 Test matches and playing in these conditions, we felt we would go with we'll go with another keeping option, considering the weather, considering the conditions. So it'll be obviously a selection toss-up between the two other keepers that we have.
Someone back said you were a pretty good number 3 batter. So I was sort of wondering what Gill needs to do to have success in that.
It's a matter of perception. Depends on who you ask actually, but I think Gill's a fine player. You know, he's starting out his journey as a cricketer. I mean, sometimes you forget. It takes people a little bit of time at times. Some guys, have success instantly. Actually, one of those guys who's done really well. Some of his early tours, especially in Australia. And to be fair to him and a lot of the young guys coming through, played on some pretty challenging wickets, whether it's been in India or even overseas. It's been some pretty challenging wickets over the last 2 or 3 years. So it gets quite hard at times for some of these guys, but he's doing all the right things. I think he's working really hard. He's he's putting in the time, he's putting in the effort. His last season, he got a couple of nice hundreds for us. One in Bangladesh, one in Ahmedabad. So I think he's on the right track. Just really hoping that the course of this 5-match series, he has some big performances.
Well, how much of setback is it Virat Kohli's absence for the first 2 matches in a series like this?
Look, I think any team will miss the quality of a player of Virat. There's no doubt about it. He's a phenomenal player. His record speaks for himself. On the field, his presence is a huge boost to the side. But having said that, I think it just presents another opportunity to somebody else to be able to step up and to be able to put in some performances. Of course, for reasons that can't be helped, he's not available for us for the first couple of games. But certainly, like I said, while he will be missed, it's a great opportunity for somebody else to have to really sort of show us what they've got in these conditions. Hi, sorry.
So we are not there, but at the same time, this is like a transition phase.
They've got some good experience as well in the side. So, guys like Rohit have been around for a while. Rahul himself as well has, played close to 50 Test matches himself. And then Jaddu and Ash as well have been around for more than a decade for us. There are some other good, young, exciting guys there. I wouldn't call them out-and-out youngsters, but even people like Shubman and Shreyas probably a lot of Test cricket, but certainly been in and around the group a lot. We think they're ready and think it's a really good opportunity for them over the course of the next 5 games to really set some good markers and set some good standards. There's a lot of Test cricket for us over the next 12 to 18 months. We've got 5 games here. We've got 5 more Test matches in India before Australia and then England again. So it's almost close to 15 Test matches. It's a lot of cricket, and so presents a really good opportunity for some of these young players, having had some experience and taste of international cricket, to really take the next few steps forward.
England lineup, somebody James Anderson and Jack Bishop played in India. So does that give cricket an advantage?
Not really. I mean, I think, look, I think even if they've not played in India per se, I think a lot of their players would have travelled. There's a lot of A-team travel. There's a lot of other exposure that a lot of players get. May not be India exposure, but certainly exposure at various levels in these kind of conditions, in subcontinental conditions. So yeah, no, I don't think that it should be much of an issue. But having said that, it'll be interesting to see how they go. I mean, obviously we're keen to see how they step up as well. We respect the fact that they've got some really good, got a good side and played some really good cricket as well. They've played well in Pakistan and they've played well in these kind of conditions. So expecting a tough series and a good series.
Any start of the series to the top of the wickets. So about the Hyderabad wicket you feel like?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to say. We'll just have a look once it starts and figure it out. I mean, it's looks a good one. Looks a good one from what I've seen. May spin a little bit. How quickly and how fast, I'm not sure, but may spin a little bit certainly as the game goes on.
Rahul, in terms of the context of WTC, how important this thing is? 5 test matches, 2 points at stake. And in comparison with what happened 3 years ago, we had 2 test matches in 5 days in Ahmedabad. How do you see England as an apprentice to Harry Brooks' out?
Yeah, I think first thing is we can't focus on the WTC at this stage. I think we've got to focus on this series and in particular this test match. I think we've got to play what's in front of us, and I think what's in front of us honestly is this particular test match. So we don't want to start thinking too far ahead. Like I said, there's a lot of cricket before we can think about the WTC. But I think we know that we're up against a really good team. A team that's playing some very good cricket. Obviously an exciting, different kind of cricket, and we know we're going to have to respond and play well. They've got some very experienced players. May not be so much of the like I answered earlier. Maybe the bowling attack hasn't come here that much, but certainly a lot of their batsmen have been here many times, play in the IPL. So they've got a lot of experience and exposure of these conditions as a team, and they're playing well. So we're really looking forward to this. It's always exciting when England come. Because it is one of the more followed test series in the world, and it should be good. It should be 5 test matches after a long time. I think we're playing a 5 test match series, so it's going to be a lot of travel in across the country, a lot of time as well. So it'll be good opportunity for the players on both sides. I think they're going to get to know each other. There's going to be a lot of punches traded on both sides, and I really hope that we can hit the ground running hard and maybe strike a few blows early on.
Now I just spoke about the 5 test series we haven't played for a long time, but it looks like going forward India, Australia and India will be 5 test matches. What are the sort of positives and negatives? Like it can be a place where you can come back because of 5 tests, but also you can get badly exposed technically as we've seen with some players in the past. How do you do that?
I mean, 5 test match series are I think the positives are, like you said, it's a real contest between 2 teams, and you really get to in some ways have those battles with players. You get a chance to sometimes come back. You get a chance to test people's strengths, their weaknesses. They have an opportunity to respond to what you throw at them. Sometimes in a couple of test matches, 3 test matches, it can happen very quickly, and by the time you've got some technical deficiencies or you're struggling for form, sometimes it's hard to come back. So I think this gives you a really good opportunity to come back and to be able to not so much worry about the first couple of the first early part of this test series, but that it's like a little bit of a marathon where you've got to be able to stay competitive and pace yourself right through the series. So I think it's a really true test of the strengths of the 2 teams and the success of the 2 teams. The downside, I just think, from a scheduling perspective, it's tough. I mean, for teams like us and even England for that matter. I mean, we play a lot of cricket in different formats of the game. So, for teams like us to keep playing 5 test match series means you've got to keep people on the park and you've got to manage out the other formats of the game as well. So, yeah, going forward, if there's more 5 match series, then I think that's going to become a big factor of how we manage the schedules of some of our more busy players, and whether we have to then, they'll have to choose at a specific times as to which form of cricket that they're playing in.
Rahul, England did their preparations for this tour 1,600 miles away in Abu Dhabi. Would you ever do that as an Indian team, do your preparations so far away from a match venue, and what do you make of their decision?
Look, I think I wouldn't want to comment on their preparation. I think they will choose to prepare how they feel is fit and right to prepare. We've certainly not done that in the past. I think one of the things that has been a challenge, actually, to be very honest with you, is to be able to get the right kind of preparation for your test teams. It's something that I have felt as well. Just at times, just the quality of the side games that you get to play in places. It's not like the old days when I first started, when you went to county cricket and you'd have even the professional who would be playing the game against you, or you'd have the best players playing against you. I think that's changed a lot. Maybe it's because of the amount of cricket, or I don't know what reason, but certainly the quality of we've certainly seen a dip in the quality of the tour games. And I think that can be, from a coach's perspective, that can be sometimes quite frustrating. So then coaches have had to try to be unique about figuring out how they want to prepare and what they think is the best form of preparation. On our last tour of South Africa, we played an intra-squad game, simply because we felt that we had our A team there at the same time, and we felt that if we could mix the teams up in such a way that we would have Jasprit Bumrah bowling to Virat Kohli, or someone like a Siraj bowling to Rohit Sharma, we would give ourselves the best chance to have the best practice in terms of quality of opposition. So I think people are being unique and people are trying to do things differently. So I think each one would find his own way. So I don't find anything. I think England would have thought that probably is the best way for them to prepare. To be very honest, I think I was speaking to Ajit because I actually thought England might come and play one of the A games, some of their players. So we've put out a very competitive A team, pulled out a lot of our players from the Ranji Trophy so that they get to play the A team cricket. A lot of our guys who are pushing for selection for this team as well. So we're trying to put out as competitive teams for oppositions when they come out here to play tour games, hoping that will be reciprocated when we go there. I think that's one of the important things as a coach. I do feel that if we want competitive series, one of the big challenges for teams is to prepare for overseas conditions, and I think everyone wants to see good series where both teams are competitive, and then I think we need to help teams prepare well as well. So I think as a policy, I think certainly me and Ajit were discussing that we would like to put out really competitive teams for people when they come here, hoping that they'll be reciprocated.
Hi, obviously you have to make sure that Test cricket has teams over Test cricket. What's your take on the Bhaskar and England cricket? What's your take?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think they've played really well. It's been exciting to watch them play, and they've had success playing like that. So why wouldn't you play like that? Because they have been successful. They've done well in Pakistan. They've won in New Zealand. They won at home. They had a really exciting series against Australia in the Ashes as well. So they have been playing very good cricket. So we have to respect that. But we know that it's going to be a challenge for them in these conditions as well. These are conditions that we know very well. These are conditions that we've got a lot of experience in our attack. I think everyone's looking forward to watching it, and certainly as a coach, I'm looking forward to seeing how our boys respond, because I know that we'll be put under pressure, and I'm really hoping that we'll respond correctly, positively, and in the right way.
We have seen Indian openers playing attacking games when they're opening very attacking shots, they're playing attacking shots in the opening. So do you see that the partnership that Rohit and Yashasvi have scoring? So do you think that this can be a good thing to tackle basketball?
So you were asking me about our opening partnership.
Attacking game.
Okay. Look, I don't think we, by nature, a lot of our players are attacking players as such. I mean, I don't think we are going out there to try to be ultra attacking. I think we'll look to play what's in front of us, what the situation demands, what it calls for. But by nature, if you look at just the nature of our top 6-7 batsmen, there are a lot of guys out there who are whose natural game is to be a little bit positive and look to take the game on. So we're not going to be looking to change that in any particular way. I think one of the things I do believe is to allow people to be comfortable in the way that they want to play. They are going to be judged by the results they produce. So they've got to find a way to play and work around that. So there'll be some different situations in which maybe we might need to look to push the game along. There might be other situations where we might have to bat. We might have to bat for long periods of time as well. So we'll just respond to what comes in front of us. But by nature, I don't see any of my batsmen are people who will look to take a backward step or look to be defensive in any case.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.